Hey everyone, how y'all doing? Kenma here, and we are back, episode 2, and we are planning on building our starter house. Although, as you can see, there's a lot of vegetation here. We're gonna have to definitely clear some of this out. And we have to decide where are we going to build our starter house. So we definitely don't want it around the spawn point. Like, next episode, we'll probably go over spawning rules and how we're going to use that to our advantage. For now, we need to just kind of find a spot that we can go out a little bit and build a nice little house. I was really hoping that there was going to be like some water or something. Like, I'd love to go fishing. Pumpkins will be useful later. But as you can see, we have lots of mines, lots of wood, not so much water. So what we might end up doing is not only building ourselves a house, didn't make it. We might also build ourselves a little pond. So I would love to go fishing. Hmm. So, yeah, I'm not seeing any water around here. Hello, Enderman. Alright. Yeah, so we will probably be making ourselves a little pond. I think in the meantime, I'm going to collect a bunch of resources. I'll be more than happy to bring you guys along for the ride. Not for too long. It really depends on what else happens this episode. But I think a little Minecraft ASMR with the lovely sounds of the chopping of wood and collecting of stone. But we'll have that going for a little bit, and I'll bring it back once I think we have enough resources. Because, like I said, I'm not seeing any water, at least none close by. And I'm out of food. I need food badly. Alright. Nothing to it but to do it. I'm going to go collect some resources. And let's see, do I want to collect stone or wood first? I think we'll start with wood because I'd like to clear a lot of this out. We're going to need wood, we're going to need leaves, we're going to need cobblestone, we're going to need lots of things. Depending on how this all shapes up, we might even clear up, pen up some of these animals so they'll be ready for us later. First, let me refine my spawn point, which is right here. No food, and no food. I'm gonna starve. Okay. Well, without further ado, let's start getting some resources. Alright, everybody, welcome back. So, I hope you enjoyed the sounds. I honestly don't know if it's even going to be there. I collected a lot of materials, and I think there's still a lot I want to do in this episode. So, without further ado, let's get back into it. So, let's see here. As you can see, I did collect a bunch of oak wood. I collected some birch, because the birch is around here. We might need more. We collected a little bit of spruce. We got more growing soon, hopefully. We also got decent amount of iron, just just over 2.5 stacks here of raw iron, plus the 16 extra ingots. Got a whole bunch of copper. Some stone, cobblestone, some tuff. We got some cobbled deep slate. We got some andesite. We got some diorite. We got some granite. So we got a whole bunch of materials that we can use, which is awesome. Next, what we're going to do is, well, quite frankly, I really want to use some of this copper. And we do have pointed dripstone over here. So I would like to use this in conjunction with some of the iron. And, oh, I have another cobblestone in here. But we're going to need some iron to make some cauldrons, because we're going to make a renewable lava source. Now, I do normally like to do about 4 cauldrons at a time, but we don't have a lot of space at the moment. So we don't have, all the iron smelted, and we're going to want to set up like a very quick automated iron smelting setup. With that in mind, though, we are going to need hoppers. So we're going to need more iron anyway, so let's go ahead and just get that started. Put that in there. And right over here, I'm going to get our cauldron set up. So the way I like to set up my renewable lava sources is 1, 2. We're going to take some dripstone. Now you could take any block. The top block actually doesn't matter. Now if you're trying to make pointed dripstone, I believe that block matters a little bit. So let me take those ones out. I'm going to put our pointed dripstone right here. And then I'm going to just pillar up a little bit. We need to wall this off so the lava can't go anywhere. And now, I'm going to leave that for now, because what we're going to need to do next is actually get ourselves some lava, which means we need iron to get buckets, and then we can get our lava. Let's see, so that's perfect. Get ourselves a couple of buckets, and I know there's a lava source right over here. Here it is. Alright, let's just go like 1, 2. Not have that in my hand, so I don't accidentally use it. And I suppose I should mention, I was collecting the nearby animals, just so that way we could be ready when we're wanting to start setting up like a barn and a farm and all that. As you can see though, the pig pen is empty because I don't have any carrots, so they'll have to wait a little bit. Alright, so with our lava in hand, let's go ahead and get up here. Go 1, 2. And then if I want to make it extra safe, what I also will do is we'll go over here, we'll grab some cobblestone. I already had some in my inventory, but let's just go like that. Boom, boom. And do that. So put that there, put that and that. Now we don't have to worry about accidentally walking into it, right? We can just walk all the way around it and be fine. And there you have it. We now have 2 cauldrons that will slowly accumulate with lava. So while that's going, we're going to set up, we're going to actually set up 2 automatic smelter sections here. So that means what we're going to need is we're going to need a chest to store the stuff in, a hopper to put into that chest, a furnace and a blast furnace. We're going to want one of each. Do I have a blast furnace in here? I do not. Okay. So let's go ahead and make 2 furnaces. Then a blast furnace. I think that actually needs smooth stone, so we might have to wait on that one. Okay. Let's grab some wood. Alright, and we're gonna just go ahead and start setting this up. Let's set it up right over here. So we're gonna say, let's get rid of that block. Ooh, don't despawn. One right here, and let's go one right here. So now we're going to need the hoppers. So we're gonna need 2 more chests. Alright, let's put that into both of these. Now we are going to need the furnace. And I'm actually going to set it up so it's right like that. Now we're going to have a blast furnace here, but I need to wait till this is done smelting before I get that started. Unless I just do it right here. I just say, you know, we'll get 8. Put that in there. No, let's do 16. And it's getting to be night. Let's sleep. Then we're going to need another furnace here, or another hopper here for the, what's it called? The fuel source. Then we're going to need another hopper on top for all the items like cobblestone, copper, iron, that stuff. So let's grab that. Make 2 more hoppers here. So we're gonna plop one right back here and one right on top. Now I'm going to make 3 chests. What we're going to do is we're going to just, for the fuel input, since we're using lava sources, we don't need a bunch. We're just going to put 1 chest there. But for the input chest, we're going to want a whole bunch. We're going to go 1 and then 2. You can still open that bottom one because that's not a full block on top. So I probably could have actually like rotated all this and made it a little bit more compact, but I do like this setup. Alright, now we're going to take 8 of these. Let's just put it in the hopper right here. There it is. Then we're going to put another piece of coal, so that way we can get some normal stone, and we can get some smooth stone. So I believe it was the smooth stone that you need for a blast furnace. Now why do we want a blast furnace? Because blast furnace will smelt ores much faster, but it can only smelt ores. So like if we want to smelt some cobblestone to get normal stone, can't do that in a blast furnace, which is why I have a 2 setup here. Okay, so as you can see, we're going to need 1, 2, 3 hoppers. We already have 1, so we need 2 more hoppers. And 3 more chests, so that's 5 chests total. So we can actually go ahead and get it set up if we wanted to. Let's go like that. We'll go like this with 1 and 2. And then we'll get our chests. We're going to go horrible placement. Okay. I see how it's going to be. One and 2. Get rid of the strip stone. Get rid of this. And now we are all ready to put in the blast furnace. So let's see what we got. So we got our stone and smooth stone coming in. I'm just going to put both those in my inventory. Yes, you can see in the top right we had the We had the blast furnace recipe up here. We can do a stone cutter too. We're going to go ahead and do that because we're going to need that. So blast furnace, 5 iron furnace, and 3 smooth stone. Let's grab that. I'll just plop that right there. Now, don't forget, if an item has an interface and you want to place something on top of it, if you shift right click, you can place it on top. Right, I'll just show that one more time. So like if I tried to right click, it's going to open up the interface, but if I hold shift, the crouch, and then place, you can place it on top. I feel like that's common Minecraft knowledge, but just in case, there you go. Alright, so we're pretty much set up here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to want all of this iron smelted. So let's put all that in there. We're going to want all of this copper. Alright, now if we wanted to, we could put another hopper up there with another chest to just allow us to have even more input. But I think we're good for now. The next thing to worry about is, well, not worry about, but the next thing we have to wait for is going to be a lava source. So while we wait for our lava source to, while we wait for our cauldron to be filled with lava, let's go find out where we are going to build our starter home. So, I'm gonna do a little bit of walking around. I'll be right back. Alright, so we're back, and let's take a look at where we want to build. So my original thought was to have like a nice little house, and next to a body of water, we can go fishing every day. That would be great. There's not any close fishing spots, so I do want to do a little bit of exploring. We're just going to kind of walk down each path around here, see if there's any good spots. But I also don't want to stray too far from my spawn point over there. So let's see what we can find. Another lava source, just burning everything. You know what? Let's grab that one. That one doesn't need to exist. If it was a pool of lava, I'd let it be, but a singular one like that. Alright, so you can see you got these 2 mountains here, and it does come out to this body of water. Now the problem is, this looks like it would be an excellent port, right? Like we'd have to carve it out a little bit, but this would be like a fortified port, right? You'd have mountains on the side, you'd have to come in from here. Oh, that'd be really cool. So I don't think we're going to build our house over here. Alright. I do like this spot right here, but we'll come back to that. Yeah, so our spawn point's over there, so now we're going to head over in this direction. So once again, lava source that we pulled from earlier. There is another body of water over here. And a bunch of caves. Definitely going to have to light all that up eventually. You can see there is another body of water. So maybe like a smaller port or something for like smaller boats. It is getting to be nighttime. And let's continue our trek. So this would be pretty much directly, what way am I facing? North of our spawn point. Got a bunch of trees, spruce. Looks like a stony shore. Yeah, so you've got another body of water. So we really could do a port on any one of those. Yeah, I don't know. And then in the other direction, I think that's going to be more of our mining stuff because that's been some really good caving over there. Let's head over there real quick. Look, bees. The bee nest. Alright, yes, so you can see this just kind of follows the mountain. Ouch. Ouch. So let's see what is over this way. So I never really went too far this way either. So we have some lovely cascading waterfall sections here. which I will probably use in the future. I'm actually probably going to be using one for our starter house because I have an idea. As you can see, this just kind of turns into a narrow path here. Yep, not much going on. You see there's a bunch of trees. Yeah. Ooh, sweet berries. And another type of wolf. Alright, let me grab some of these. Thank you. And let's head back. Because I have an idea. Alright, so my plan is, so we got our spawn point here. And I'm thinking we're going to build our starter house right over there. So we will eventually want like paths and all that. You know, it's going to be like a full town. There's going to be some countryside. There's going to be like the bustling side. With all the shops and stuff. But I think for our starter house, we should have something nice and simple. And so I'm thinking, what if over here we had this nice little depression? I think I might dig this out a little bit more. Maybe flatten this stuff a little bit. And then what if we made a waterfall down here from like, you know, it's like a glacier-fed, mountain-fed spring or something down here. And we have our little house over here. I really like that idea. First, I gotta find out what size pond do you need to get treasure? Because I do want to be able to fish up things like saddles and name tags and things like that. So let me go check on that. I'll be right back. Alrighty, I'm back. So, according to the Minecraft wiki, in Java edition, which is what we're playing, to catch items in the treasure category, the bobber must be in open water, defined as the 5x4x5 vicinity around the bobber, resting on the water surface. 2 blocks away horizontally, 2 blocks above the water surface, and 2 blocks deep. Each horizontal layer in this area must consist only of air and lily pads or water source blocks, waterlogged blocks without collision, such as signs, kelp, or coral fans, and bubble columns. These conditions are checked every tick to determine if the player is eligible to receive treasure from a fishing attempt. If the conditions are not met, only items in the fish and junk categories can be obtained from fishing. So with that in mind, you can see we have a body of water here. Now let's say I wanted this to be my top surface, right? So what that means is 1, 2, 3. Here. If my bobber was resting on top of this surface, it would need 2 spots open there, 2 spots open that direction, right? So this is your 5x5 section, and then 2 blocks below. So we would actually have to remove this. Now I don't know if it's from the top of the surface, like that. Does that cobblestone count as 1? So just to be safe, we're going to just say 1, 2, right? And then, you know, blocks of air above. So that's the space you need, essentially. Actually, let's go ahead and take this. Let's use that. So that's your air. The rest is your water. And as I said, lily pads, kelp, things like that can be used. So this spot is big enough. I do think I'm still going to dig it down a little bit, just because, let's say you made a section like this. You would have to cast your bobber perfectly every time in that center block in order to be able to catch treasure. And ain't nobody got time for that. I'm not trying to plan that specifically of I need to cast in this specific spot in order to get my treasure. Nope, not doing it. So let's take our little demonstration down here. So I think we're going to have a nice little pond here. Like I said, I'm going to have to dig it out a little bit. I'm going to probably flatten this section just slightly, and we're going to have our house right here. I like it. I really like it. Okay. Well, I'm going to get digging out the pond. I don't think that's going to be too interesting. So I'll do that, and then we'll come back, and we'll make the house together. Because why not? Let's do it. we have our little pond here. Now it's not, great. I do want to texture it. I want to add some boulders and things like that. But just wanted to get like the outline kind of our pond here. So that way we kind of know how we are going to be building our house. Like, do I need to build this section up at all? Because it all depends on how I want to do that. Oh. Gotta sleep. Probably want, like, you wouldn't want your house right next to the pond per se. I mean, this is Minecraft, it doesn't have to be realistic or anything. But I'm going to use a bunch of wood to kind of help me figure out my plan here. Now, I would like to use wool, but I don't have a lot. So, let's think. If I were to do this, I'd go 1. Hey everyone, welcome back. Well, I know I said I was planning on going like block for block tutorial, not really a tutorial, but like just showing you the process of me making a house. And then I started, and then I realized I'm not ready for that yet. I did not have enough materials. I was all over the place, back and forth between my main base over there and collecting more resources, and it just wasn't good. So I hope you enjoyed the time lapse, and I hope it wasn't too bad. I still got a lot to learn when doing the replay mod and video editing in general. So I hope you guys will give me a little bit of a leeway on that stuff. But the house, for now, is finished. Let's go take a look at it. Bam! There it is. As you can see, we do have the copper roofs. It's already starting to age a little bit. And I would like to adjust, like let it all, how do I put that? I want it all to oxidize. And then we might do like some fun designs or something with it using our axe and honeycomb, because we will eventually have a bee farm. So why don't we kind of, go through the house. So let's start with the outside. So you can see we have like our ground floor, our first floor, and then the second floor. So basement, first, second, or 1, 2, 3, however you want to take it. We got some lovely little bushes. I tried to hide like a lantern back there. It's not really working, so I have some other ideas, but it will require us to get moss. So once we get moss, we might hide that lantern a little bit better. You go around, we got our structural supports, adding a little bit of depth. I do need to put some like glow lichen around some of these spots because I don't want mobs to spawn up there. So we got some sweet berries. Let's go ahead and harvest that. We got some more bushes, so a little bit of texturing. You can see here we got the stripped birch and the birch planks. So we might also adjust this mountain a little bit. And then we got our pond back here. Got more bushes, more berries. Thank you. So, oh, we got some barrels back here, which I have a plan for those ones. So yeah, so we'll still be able to come over here and go fishing right over here in this spot. It's still got the blocks of air above it. Still got the blocks below and to the side, so I'm really looking forward to fishing. We have a side entrance. And you come down here, more bushes. We're gonna have to do a little bit more terraforming yet, because I do want to like fill this in a little bit. But without further ado, let's go inside. So, with this setup here, you can see I've got a pressure plate to open the door, so that way when I leave, it closes automatically. And when I enter, it closes automatically. Now we do have this trap door here, and this is, I'm planning to have villagers throughout this village. I'm not sure if they're going to be free roam or like confined to their buildings or how I'm going to do that yet. But this is to make sure no villagers are entering my place. So, yeah, there's that. We got our lovely little bookshelf here. You know, we can store some books, some barrels for extra storage. We have a smithing table. We have a stone cutter, a backwards loom, more bookshelves, fletching table. Like we got like all the professions back here, except for Lectern. Back here's our storage. So we got our lovely little storage system. So we got spruce, birch, oak, and then you got other things, you know, dripstone. We got cobblestone and tuff. We have stone and cobblestone, dirt, andesite, iron. Yep, iron and copper. So, you know, a bunch of different stuff, some glass, animal goods. So I'll probably label these eventually, or I'll just be like, I remember where they are. But we got some lovely texturing going on in here. You know, we got our cobblestone and our tuff. And I try to put it higher in here in the back versus up here in the front, because that's the side that is closest to the water. So my thought is, you know, water damage or water trying to get in. So we got that going on. We have these lovely polished tuff floors, and I actually really like having this and polished andesite mixed in the floor a little bit too. It just gives a little bit of pop. It breaks it up. I really like it. Oh yeah, we got a grindstone. All right, and now we go upstairs. Got a lovely little kitchen area, some flowers, some more storage up here, paintings, because you know you got to have food or a cake when you're in the kitchen. We're gonna put armor on these armor stands, but a little like shelf up there, another painting. I can even sit here and just enjoy the outside as I eat my breakfast, which I'm not hungry enough to do right now. So we go to here, you got more storage, even more storage. This leads outside. So we have the same setup here. And that's actually one of the reasons the shelf is here, is to, once again, keep out the villagers. We come inside here. This is the bedroom. Got some flowers, a tree, more storage, a little view outside, and a creeper painting with our bed. We go outside here, and this, we get to look outside, maybe, you know, enjoy some nice tea or coffee while looking over our eventual town and spawn point. And you can see, so I put all these like trap doors and upside down stairs and stuff to block the copper, because I felt like it was just too much copper when you're standing on the inside. I really enjoyed the copper when it was on the outside of the roof, but not the inside. So this one doesn't block. This one doesn't block villagers, but I don't think villagers should be getting up here. But we do have that pressure plate there to close the door behind us because I'm lazy. And let's go finally upstairs. So we got this lovely upstairs room. I'm not sure what to do with it yet. Now we could do like, you know, an mini enchanting setup, even though I want like an actual enchanting room eventually or building. But yeah, we have just a little bit of a space up here that we can do something with if we want to. Just look outside and marvel at our world generation. Look at our roof a little bit. Yeah, that's what we got. I plan on putting like my food and stuff up in here whenever I have extra food. But we did it, guys. We built our starter house. And we did it in episode 2. Which says a lot for me because sometimes I take like till when I was trying to do this in the past, I would take like episode 3 or 4 to build the starter house. Because I love exploring. I love going down in the caves, lighting everything up, finding all the spawners and all the trial chambers and everything else. It's so much fun that sometimes I forget I need a place to settle down. But we have it. And this episode's already getting really long, so I hope you guys are okay with that. I'm trying to make episodes that, I would enjoy to watch. As they say, make something you would enjoy, because there's probably other people that'll enjoy it too. So before this episode drags out too much longer, thank you so much everybody for watching. Episode 1 should be out on a Tuesday. This episode should be out the day after. And my goal is every other Tuesday to release an episode. That is my goal. Let's see if we can do it. I believe in me, and I hope you guys do too. So, without further ado, and the setting sun behind us, I hope you guys find something to smile about today. And until next time, peace out. I built that. Yay.